Reframing Mindset podcast, where I clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day.
Okay, welcome back to Reframe Massive Podcast. My name is Concept Brooks, and this episode is kind of like a yes, I love Mark episode as well. Because what happened is that slowly. So if you remember long ago, I have this episode about my grocery list. Back when I was trying to find out some episode. So what happened? But then I'm not trying to find out. So I start the podcast. And what happens that I record all the episode, then boom, I wanted some other stuff to record, so I had to just start making up stuff. And one I think was at the grocery list. And all those episodes are really bad, because what happened is that, you know, I'm trying to build up my dream stuff. But what happens at the time, the podcast would be the main stuff that I'm trying to make to build up that dream stuff. But as if you listen to the unforeseen circumstance episode and things don't happen the way you want it to happen. So you just like what happened was that you have to boom find a work. Boom found a work and then I use money wisely and stuff and what I and as wise as I could, but I said the job world was so not my my thing. So I had to become this different person and all this stuff. When they actually trying to build their dream life, I had to become. It's like that was it. But what happened is that I had plans. I had plans. So actually, even though I'm becoming a different person, I have dreams. I never forgot the dreams or the goals. So what happens is that boom, doing this work, what I didn't realize until I actually just took the leap and just I realized that boom, slowly the grocery list I had from way back when. Slowly. So and not now I said this recording in April. So it's like it's not now immediately. I can just immediately get that grocery list because that grocery list is really expensive. But what happens that slowly but surely, say boom. By the end of 2025, given I made the end of 2024, you will see that boom, I'm able to actually get all that groceries, and you and that would be like the next phase of being someone self-actualized. So that would be like getting that grocery list for myself. So boom, getting that grocery list for the home. I guess that's the next phase, getting that grocery list for the home. And then what will happen is that I can do that. Then, who if actually someone comes over and all this stuff, it can be more formal. The home can be more formal. Where home, you just usually what about it is that they would actually just come and it just entertainment, and maybe a little food and stuff. I would just actually have to spend money and buy certain stuff. And but what happened is that now at this new phase of the home ownership, now if me can actually buy the groceries, that boom, by by me naturally being able to buy the groceries and stuff like that. Naturally, if a person arrives at my home and stuff like that, naturally, just by naturally me accomplishing my goal of being able to actually get my groceries I am able to actually entertain and feed, I guess as well. So that's the thing where you have your goals and all those stuff. If you focus on achieving your goals, naturally the byproduct of you being able to achieve your goal is that you're able to accommodate someone else or show them how this podcast show you the process of what I went through to actually reach this far, and then you can find out how to do it easier and all those stuff. But not only that, you're better able to do the stuff that you want to do. Because some people come from poor situation, and what's the thing is that what you realize is that people do when people don't understand where you're coming from, they're judging you. Whereas a woman, you want to treat out a woman and all those stuff, but you're in a grinding stage, you're not rich like that, but they are a certain lifestyle. So it's not throwing word or anything at this point. It's just giving you a general gist. Just this is to be self. It's a general episode to be like, yo, you really have to understand yourself to be like, okay, I'm gonna sacrifice this for the long term benefit of yourself. So boom, in your poor days, you could not afford this luxury. You could not afford this luxury. But when you explain that to someone, they can understand. They can see the vision. They can wait this long for the vision to fulfill. You have a person to be like, bro, if this vision is truly worth it, you have to actually let go of that that thing that in the moment you'll be like, oh, I'm trying to impress her for the moment for this long term benefit. And the thing about it is that this long term benefit might not self actualize. I might not reach to point where boom, I'm making making the groceries to buy all these stuff. But the thing is that the risk is worth it because of how far I'm coming from. So that's the thing we realize, like, these stuff, this podcast of it, not a way to judge a person that is say, okay, I'm just say the easy road and all those stuff because the hard road is hard. But if you're poor and you don't want to be poor, the hard road is the only way. There's no easy road to riches, bro. You have to actually put in the work and all those stuff. You have to be smart and study and all those stuff. You have to actually learn all these different aspects of life, street life, all those stuff. To learn what, and the thing about it is that eventually what happens is that the new versions of you become, you are learning new versions of you on the journey, new versions of you. So boom, what happens is that a street way, the street hustling way was the way that got you from point A to point B. But now you have to become an employee. You have to actually learn the 9 to 5 lifestyle and learn that, okay, certain luxuries the 9 to 5 gives me that the streets won't give you. I'd be like, okay, yeah, you want to open a bank account or stuff like that. You can't get that from the streets. Can't get that from the streets. You want to get a credit card, all can't get, you have to actually come employed and all those stuff. So you have to, the street stuff can give you so much knowledge, but if you want to reach, say, boom, the richest man, like at this point is Elon Musk and all those stuff, you have to actually rise up. So boom, become an employee, then try to become invest and all these stuff. These are levels. There are levels. So to reach that levels, you have to basically propel up. So the level that I'm at now is slowly being able to slowly reach to the point where I can actually get my grocery list. And suddenly, if you're hearing if you're actually hearing the crickets in the background, but I'm recording the new stuff that this 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 new studio stuff, the Riverside stuff now. So it's like they have a feature that remove background noise. So ideally, there should be no crickets. But if you're in the crickets, because I'm actually recording in the evening because as I said I only have limited days off now, and I have so much work to do in at the home, bro, to clear it up. So it's like, yo, I have to be like separating these stuff in different times and so. But that's the thing where at this point I'm slowly able getting towards that I can buy the groceries, and then what eventually is that me accomplish the goal of able to buy everything on the grocery list that I have from way back when. what will happen is that boom, I can actually start reach a point where I can buy so boom I need to buy groceries. I can basically just say this in these episodes as well since it's like boom I can able to buy the groceries. How I approach it is that certain things you can buy upfront and then you can buy um so this just a gist for the future episodes. Since I reach this point, I can basically talk about it more. But boom, certain things like, for example, toilet paper. Boom, I can buy that. Eventually, work my way up where I can buy like a dozen. And what will happen is that for like few months, I don't have to really worry about buying purchasing that anymore. So what happens is that my next paycheck will actually be more more for a few months because I don't have to worry about that. Then when we buy another stuff again that in bulk, where you buy certain these are stuff that you know, but you know it just is the principle. It's the principle of you're coming from poverty and you want to get rich. So saving is one thing, saving can get you so far, but you have to actually learn all the ways to save and all those stuff. But you have to always also learn the other ways of making money as well. So it's like boom, employee and store. Next thing else is upgrading the store that you go to. So you may go to a cheap store and all those stuff. I'm actually going to a more high end store to purchase some of the stuff. So that's a next level of upgrading yourself, where you purchase stuff from higher grade stuff. And that means that the stuff are better quality or almost anything like that. That doesn't mean that it's better quality. But what happens is that you get a different experience. And that's the thing where different experience, and then what happens is that you find out what's good and what's not. That's the thing where I say you're looking at a person end. So you boom, I'm looking at a grandmother and all that stuff. And all those lessons are through experiences. That's why boom when she say, okay, go and buy this for me. It's through years and years of trial and error that she knows that okay, this is the best stuff to get. These home remedies and stuff like lime and stuff like that. Years and years of experience, trial and error, you know, to go. So that what means that me going to the high end store now, I've actually been to lower end stores and stuff. Me going to high end store does that mean okay, I made it or all those stuff. It means that I get a different experience. So what happens is that I know when and when not to go there. Certain things I will say, okay, I don't need to go there, and so, but I know when to go there and not go there. All these stuff, you have to just basically be like, yo, you. That's how you have to approach the stuff by reaching the try to reach up at a higher level. I think about is that another episode again from one of my guests in the podcast. I guess it would take a while to actually find that episode where I talking about altitude, where it be like yo, certain levels you have to be acclimated to the level, so you have to because different breathing space and stuff like that. Or is that you want to go and get the best stuff, like you want to get your dream car, but what you if you're not at that level, what you would have to do to get it would be like a big leap. And if you're not ready for it, what will happen is that boom, you get your dream car, no home, you don't have a home or a place to store it, and all those stuff. So you say, okay, I'm gonna focus all my energy in getting this car that costs 10 million. Work up to get a 10 million, boom, you get a car. But what eventually happens is, boom, you have to sleep in the car because you have a place to park it and all those stuff. But you get a dream car. So it's like you don't get parties right and all those stuff. So I said it's very is simple to say, okay, I'm starting the journey, I'm getting my grocery list. But there are a lot of complexities to it. A lot of complexity to it. But you know the goal is there where you know I started to get towards it now. So that's basically for this episode. Thank you for listening. I look forward to the next episode. Mm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.